Welcome to the Squared Circle Jerks podcast. I am Mike. He is Byron.
Get out.
We are talking about Sapporo, New Beginnings here, New Japan card from this weekend, the Royal Rumble weekend. And, kind of mixed on this card.
I would say that the day one was not as good as day two, but, that's just my opinion.
I would say that both days were somewhat lacking in significant storylines, which, it was a lot of, we're going to kind of build towards title matches through basically throw a bunch of guys in a tag match. The Teddy Long style of storyline making.
Yeah, this is New Beginnings Sapporo, which will then, this kind of kicks off the New Beginnings tour, which will take, I think, a week, 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks or longer. And hold on, I'll bring up the actual New Japan website. But these 2 days kick off a big tour that will then culminate with the big show in New Beginnings Osaka, I think. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is the beginning of stuff. This is, New Beginnings, Road to New Beginnings starts 30th of January through February 8th. They tour, and then New Beginning Osaka is February 10th. And then they kick off New Japan with the New Japan Road, which I'm not sure what that's all about, in Okinawa. And then Honor Rising will be February 23rd and the 24th. Mm-hmm. So, this is very much a kickoff to a tour that will culminate later on on the 10th.
And it does the job well. It's just, it took a while for both these cards to really engross me and bring me in.
Yeah.
So we open up night one with Kitamura versus Michael Elgin in the second of his 7 series tryout match, basically.
Going into all full power, baby.
I enjoyed the power spots in this. A lot of showing off. We know Mike Elgin's super powerful, so putting him in there with Kitamura and having them bash into each other like two battering rams of mountain muscle. It puts Kitamura over big that he could match up with Elgin in a way that no one else really can.
Yeah.
But in the end,
I'd like to see this as a tag team.
Indeed. In the end, Elgin gets the win with the power bomb. I'd say this was 3 stars?
Yeah, I would say so. The one thing I really enjoyed, not only this match, but the one that he had on the following card was Callis. Don Callis had an excellent commentary thing going where he said he needs to slow down. He needs to calm down. He needs to stop going 1,000% all the time. He's missing opportunities. He's doing it. He's really putting over the whole, he's all of that in a bag of chips, but he's still a rookie. And I thought it, not only this time, but also the following day, they did an excellent job with combining the match with the commentary.
Mm-hmm. I think they did a good job with basically all the commentary blending in. Don Callis and Kevin Kelly do a great job, and they're the best. At one point in night 2, I think, gave out a shot. It's all the writers it's all credit to the writers. Oh, wait, we don't have any of those.
Yeah.
Then we had a 10-man tag match with basically most of Suzuki Gun, Taichi Kanemaru, Izuka, Taka Michinoku, and Desperado versus Yushin Thunder Liger, Tiger Mask, Tenzan, Kushida, and Nakanishi.
Team Old Man.
Well, minus Kushida.
Yeah.
Quick get well soon to Kojima, who has going under the knife for the ACL injury that he suffered.
Yeah, at his age, we were discussing this briefly. At his age, I don't know if that's probably not a career ender, but that should be a big flag.
Yeah, that might put him on a Nagata path where he starts working the part-time schedule as opposed to the full-time schedule. Yeah,
I suspect that he'll be the guy, and I don't know how long it's going to take him to heal either at his age. So, are we going to see him before Wrestle Kingdom next year?
I would think before Wrestle Kingdom. I think he'll be ready.
I wouldn't be surprised.
We end up with Pearl Harbor, of course, to start because it's a Suzuki Gun match. Come on.
Yeah.
Standard, really just kind of your standard clusterfuck of a match with, what happens when Suzuki Gun gets to do multi-man matches. In the end, Kushida taps out Taka Michinoku with the hoverboard lock, and Liger and Tiger Mask got a win.
Indeed.
And probably about 2.5, 2 3/4.
Yeah, a 10-man tag. There's only so much you can do. And with Suzuki Gun, it always breaks down into sort of the Pearl Harbor, into the extended outdoor beatdown spot, and then more spots in the ring. That's kind of the standard fare.
I need to see a tag team at some point. Pearl Harbor, Suzuki Gun. That would be good.
Yeah, like okay, so you got all of the shenanigans. You got Iizuka going crazy through the crowd. It wasn't this one, but it was the next night where he fucking Pearl Harbored 4 of the schoolgirls in the crowd. That was fucking funny. But it was this match actually where maybe it wasn't this match. Where was Suzuki? Oh, Suzuki was in the main event. So I think it was this match where Iizuka had smashed the shit out of somebody. Was it Nakanishi with the guardrail? He was smashing the shit out of Nakanishi with the guardrail and then just let it go. And there's some fan standing right there in the splash. Took it right in the chops. Took it right in the chops. It was amazing. And the fan was just like, "Oh, I'm very sorry." Like you could see as he took the hit and went, "Oh, I fucked up." Like you could see the thought process in his head. Like I should have known that was coming.
Yep. Anyways, good match, but nothing you got to go out of your way to see.
No, I mean for the guardrail spot. Other than that, no.
Then we had Pimp Club, Tokyo Pimp, Yujiro Takahashi, and Chase Owens versus Tomohiro Ishii and Toru Yano.
Sir, I believe you're purposely avoiding Chase Owens' heritage, genetically speaking.
That came up more at night 2. I had a whole thing prepared for that.
Okay, well, that's foreshadowing, ladies and gentlemen. See what I'm doing there?
My notes here read, some gimmick infringement from Owens, who goes for the turnbuckle pad. And he also does the Yano break with the ropes.
Yano was not happy. He was like, "Oh, you're still waiting for my fucking turnbuckle." And then he went right after the turnbuckle himself.
A pretty good comedy match, which you're going to get with Yano. And, Tokyo Pimp and Chase Owens are both good at the comedy, too. And Ishii plays the straight man, too, the whole thing. So that works great. In the end, Owens ends up super kicking his partner and getting pinned by Ishii.
It was great. I enjoyed. Well, I wouldn't say great, but it's a quality entertaining match. I enjoyed it. It was enjoyable. You should enjoy it too.
It did exactly what it set out to do.
Exactly.
And then we get on to Makabe Hanare and Taguchi going after the tag or the 6-man titles that are held by God and Bad Luck Fale.
Team Tonga.
We had an interesting start where Taguchi was fondling Tonga Loa's hair and then got his glasses broke.
Yeah, it was funny. Tonga snatched it. Well, didn't really snatch it. Kind of reached out there and plucked him off his face while I hiccup. And kind of looked at him and kind of and looked over at Fale and was like, I like his better. And then just crunched him. Whoa, no. Like the whole crowd actually got really hot at that.
Indeed. Hanare worked a lot of this match.
He did.
Which maybe is them trying to figure out really how far he can go.
I think he just needs time in the ring. He needs time to get into that new, Maori warrior type character.
I would like it if the Maori warrior character stopped being like tremendously stereotypical Maori and kind of added a little bit of a uniqueness to it. But perhaps
he's very much the New Japan Tatanka right now.
Pretty much, yeah. In the end, Tama Tonga tapped out Hanare with a modified twister, which was interesting.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was. I had to look at it. I was like, "What?" You hadn't said anything, and I was like, "Is that a twister? That's not quite a twister." He's like, and you said, "No, it's not quite it, but it's good enough for wrestling."
Yeah, good work. The announcers put over big that Tama Tonga won by submission, something they didn't expect to ever happen. And Gorillas and Fale retained their titles. This led us into the 3-pronged attack of Marty Scurll, Hangman Page, and Cody Rhodes against Juice Robinson, David Finlay, and Kota Ibushi.
We're going to go for Plan A, and if that doesn't work, Plan B, and you know where we're going after that? Plan C. It's a 3-pronged attack.
The highlight of this match was they had a prolonged series of partners killing each other, basically. Like doing the whole, I got him, hit him. What? Why did you move? I think everyone in the match took one of those.
I think so, yeah. I don't know if I can't remember if it went all the way, if it was a total circular thing. I can't remember who started it and who finished it, but you're probably not wrong.
In the end, Paige pinned Finlay, which was a bit weird with Marty Scurll and Cody Rhodes for team partners. I didn't expect Paige to get the pin, and he got the pin in night 2. So,
yeah,
big push for the Hangman, maybe.
Well, he's coming a long way. He's come a long way since you had the mad hate on him because he was up against your boys, them boys.
My mad hate for him extended well beyond that.
But he's come a long way, especially in the character work. If you're not watching the Being the Elite on the YouTubes as well as the New Japan, then you're kind of missing part of the story, especially the unofficially official feud between Hangman and Joey Ryan, which is fantastic. The one thing from this match, other than all of that stuff, was the deliberate tension between Kota Ibushi and Cody, which was it's been going on since, was it Wrestle Kingdom or was it before?
Honestly, a little bit before that, yeah.
Yeah, so Cody been kind of going after Kota Ibushi because Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega have history, so that kind of led into the whole thing. Kota Ibushi's not backing down, and Kota Ibushi ain't taking no shit.
Interesting side note, I misspelled Finley's name in the title of this match and throughout my notes.
Does it say Funley?
No, it says finally.
Finally? That's funny. David, finally.
David, finally. Then we had Naito and the Time Bomb versus Will Ospreay and Yoshihashi. And I enjoyed Naito fucking with Callis.
Fucking with Callis is awesome. He came down. Callis immediately abandoned ship away from the announce table. And then he and Naito and Kelly kind of called it back. Like, no, come on back. Like he put it. Didn't he grab his water bottle or something?
Yeah, he grabbed his water bottle.
Then he put his water bottle back down. He's like, no, come on. And then Naito got up, and Naito wanted him to get Callis to come over the guardrail, and he wouldn't do it. And then he climbed up onto the ring apron and tried to, and wanted Callis. I think he wanted Callis to come hold the ropes for him to as a friendly overture, and Callis would not do that. Callis said, "I'm not going."
He's like, I know what's going to happen if I go up there.
So there's they have a much more interesting kind of antagonistic or devious relationship than really anybody else that fucks with the announcers, including Suzuki. Suzuki just wants to beat the shit out of him.
Suzuki's more just not really fucking with you. He just wants to kill you.
Yeah, which is kind of boring, but whatever. Naito's so much better at it than anybody else.
Well, that's because he's so much more tranquilo.
See, as soon as I knew Yoshihashi was involved with the match, you knew that guy was not, that team was not winning.
Yeah, but he didn't eat the pin, surprisingly.
No.
Also, I enjoyed Time Bomb snuggling a random fan's stuffed cat.
That was good. That fan was fucking hyped. Yeah, they are playing up. Apparently, Naito and Yoshihashi I missed part of this. Were they scheduled to have a match? Or were they
So the deal is that back at the G1 Climax, Naito shat on a bunch of people that were in the G1. He talked about Kota Ibushi being a part-timer, shouldn't be there, etc. But he singled out Yoshihashi as just not being on the level.
Yeah, okay.
Not being good enough to be in the G1 Climax, and as a result, that's where this feud has come from.
I'd forgotten. I did remember him talking about Ibushi, but I figured that was kind of... Once they had the match that they had, that talk went away. But I don't remember him saying stuff about Yoshihashi. Maybe they just didn't bring it up more than once and I missed it.
They brought it up in the lead up to the Yoshihashi's G1 match with him.
Okay.
But it has blossomed into this additional feud because apparently Naito hasn't shut up about it.
Okay.
He's still talking about it. And Hashi going a little heel in this one because he attacked Naito he did a lot of heel stuff to Naito, frankly.
Yeah, he went hostile.
Pearl Harbor attacking him after the match. The finish was pretty cool, actually. Time Bomb alley-ooped Ospreay into a nut shot by Naito.
It's the ultimate of atomic drops.
That was pretty damn good. Then we moved on to the LIJ versus Chaos Part 2. Bushi, Sanada, and Evil versus Goto, Okada, and Gedo. And I called that Gedo would get pinned, and that actually didn't happen.
That did not happen. I can't remember. Was it Bushi ate the pin?
Bushi ate the submission loss to the Cobra Clutch from Okada.
Right. Yeah. And then after the match, Okada beat the shit out of Sonata. So Sonata's getting the title shot at New Beginnings Osaka, if I remember correctly.
Yes, because he beat Okada in the G1.
Yeah, so Okada went pretty much full heel and beat the piss out of Sonata, and then went under the ring and grabbed a handful of like filthy Okada dollars and stuffed them in his mouth and all kinds of shit. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed
the commentators are doing a thing where they're trying to put it up as he's like trying to inspire Sonata to have a better match with him.
Yeah,
just kind of an interesting concept. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so.
Then we had Roppongi Vice and Jay White, or not Roppongi Vice, Roppongi 3K and Jay White versus Young Bucks and Kenny Omega.
The elite.
Highlight of this match was Omega hitting just everybody with dragon suplexes.
Yeah. Like, you get a dragon, and you get a dragon, and you're gonna, oh, no, but you're still gonna get a dragon.
Yeah, which carried on into night 2. We'll talk about that later. Omega got the win with an Indie Taker on Young Bucks hit the Indie Taker, I should say, and Omega pinned him.
It was a pop-up Indie Taker.
Pop-up Indie Taker, indeed.
With Kenny Omega doing the popping up.
Omega assistance.
Indeed.
And then we had... on one hand, I really agree with this booking decision, and on another hand, I really don't so much agree with the booking decision.
No, I'm in the same boat with you. You have to get Tanahashi off the road. That guy is beat to fuck. He's and killing himself. Not stop. Yeah. He will not stop. You can't stop him. The only way to stop him is to tell him not to show the fuck up.
The thing I disagree with it though is you just took another openweight title off of Minoru Suzuki after a pretty good run, and he just instantly wins the IC title. That's like, yeah, that seems a little weird.
The match itself was very good. It involved a lot of brutal submission type stuff, not just from Suzuki, but Tanahashi had some pretty awesome like high angle Boston Crab. Hit a couple of high fly flows. There's a lot more going on here than I can really. I'm gonna feel like
a lot of work on the leg, of course, because you're gonna sell that to get Tanahashi off the road.
Yeah. So after Suzuki, and then the finish was that Suzuki got the win because the ref just stopped the match. It was just okay. We can't. He'd put Tanahashi through so much of a ringer that it was just not conscionable to have the match continue, and he's just like, no, that's it. That's all.
Yeah.
So. On the finish was really good in a sense that you put Suzuki over as being this guy who has the ability to do this to people. Not that he really needed it, but you also make sure you put Tanahashi over strong as a guy that never quit, didn't stop, just like in real life.
Fought on with basically one arm, one leg.
Exactly. So hopefully, I just keep him out. The cover story and leading into night 2. They made a special announcement saying that Tanahashi would not be on the card tonight and has been pulled from the New Beginnings tour entirely because Suzuki put his leg through the ringer all through the whole match. And so their story is that he's got osteoarthritis in the knee and they've got to do a bunch of shit to him. In reality, doesn't he have a bad bicep tear that he really should not have been wrestling with since last summer?
He basically has the same injury as Drew McIntyre / Galloway has that's keeping him out.
Except he's just fucking wrestling through it because he's a pimp. So, there's that. So I don't know what it's going to take to heal that, but they really need to keep him neat for his own fucking safety. Keep him out until... can you keep him out past the G1? Because that's probably his best bet for health.
I would, but I don't know. We'll see.
I would keep him out past the G1, based on whatever he needs to heal up. And then, what's the big show in September? I can't remember. Or is it the Climax is in September, right?
Yeah, Climax is in September.
Isn't there one in October? Yeah, there's one in the World Tag League.
World Tag League, yeah. You could easily keep him out of that.
Well, yeah.
Actually, I don't think he was even in the last one.
I'd have him come back at the finals for World Tag League, for whatever card they're putting together for World Tag League. Have him come back and beat the dick out of Suzuki. That'd be my booking.
That could work. Then we go on night 2. We open up again with Kitamura doing his his third match. The first one was not on this particular set of shows. It was against Jay White. This time it was against Juice Robinson. He ate the loss to the Pulp Friction. Much shorter match.
Actually, it was longer.
It was longer?
It was a minute longer.
It didn't feel like it.
Well, it was much faster pace. The Elgin match was a bunch of, like you said, bunch of power spots. This was a bunch of impact spots. And again, Callis putting over the fact that Kitamura is doing all of the things, and all of the things are good, but he's going way too fast and rushing into stuff and getting caught with things coming in. So there's a bunch of chops. I believe there was a bunch of kicks. I can't remember. I don't remember all the things to do with the match, but I remember there was a lot of impact-based stuff rather than power-based stuff. Although there was really no shortage of power.
Well, it got to
either.
the point where at the end, after the Pulp Friction, Juice is helping Kitamura out of the ring. He's supporting him, taking him back, and Kitamura just collapses. And then the Young Boys have to help him, and Juice is like, I tried. Then we move on to an 8-man tag. Taichi, Takamichinoku, Kanemaru, I don't know his first name, I'm sorry, El Desperado, versus Yushin Thunder Liger, Tiger Mask, Taguchi, and Shota Umino, who is Red Shoes Dose.
Yoshinobu Kanemaru.
Yoshinobu.
I know this because I'm looking at the database wrestle card right now.
Indeed. I just always refer to him as Kanemaru.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's usually only listed as Kanemaru. This was particularly hilarious because Taka got on the mic. They had an actual functional mic there at the English commentary booth. They've tried to do this before, and whoever's in production apparently was just not clued in because their mic never worked, and then guys had to lean in and talk into like the headsets. But they had a functional microphone that they could just hold up for guys to talk into, and that was a big, particularly this night.
It's hilarious.
I don't remember a ton. I'll have to go back and watch the first night.
Got a little bit from Naito in the first night.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of stuff we skipped because we were on a time crunch. I'll have to go back and check stuff out and see if there was anything in there. But this one was really fucking funny because Taka came over and started giving Kevin Kelly some business because they were both in WWE at the same time back in the day. And he was giving Kevin Kelly some business, and Kevin's got the mic up, and he's like, "Oh, why can't we just be friends?" He's like, "No! Taka needs sake!" And then goes over to the ring and rolls in and flops on his back and doesn't whatever. And so what I want to know is, where can I buy the Taka needs sake t-shirt? Because I need that. I need all of that. I need a rotoscope of him laying on his back in the ring with a Taka needs sake. I need that.
So at the start of the match, we get a bit of a Pearl Harbor when Taguchi hugs Nori Abe. I think that's her name?
Yeah. Yes.
The Tai Chi's girl, who I would like to do things to.
Indeed.
Anyways,
creatively,
they've been doing a storyline where Taguchi's been kind of hitting on her, and he gets stomped mercilessly.
Yeah. He just kind of tackle hugged her, and then everybody in Suzuki-gun was just like, "Fuck you!" Stompity stomp stomp.
Yep. She was laughing when they were on the mat, and then she went into wronged victim mode when he got kicked to the outside. An amusing transformation. Anyways, Umino worked a lot of this match, actually. Which
he did, yeah. There's a lot of the young boys getting their shit in, and I'm enjoying it.
Well, I think they're also trying to rebuild their young boys with Jay White having graduated, and Kawato's now on excursion. You imagine Kitamura's going to be soon. Yeah. Hinare's graduated from being a young boy.
Yeah, I think what they're going to do is they're going to basically, I think, do the Hinare route with Kitamura, is like keep him around, give him a bit of a thing, see if he gets over, like they did with Naito, and then send him on excursion. Because after, they give him a taste of what's going on here, send him away, bring him back. That's what I would do with those two.
Mm-hmm. Whereas answering the 10 count was having a fun time with that. Like, yeah, Kitamura's going to go on excursion to the main event of WrestleMania. And, pretty good match, but more or less your standard Suzuki thing with, at the end, Taguchi getting a little bit of ball torture from Abe. And, anyways, super kick on Umino. Taichi gets the pin. And they go after...
Super lackadaisical cover.
Yeah, they went after Tiger Mask, and they did get it, but the Young Boys covered him with a towel to save his identity.
Yeah, and then Taguchi either kicked out of the ring or rolled out of the ring or whatever, and tried to crawl over to Abe. She got away, and then he crawled a little further, and she tried to get away again. He tripped her up, and then just kept crawling.
Yeah. The original thing was he ended the match on the outside, and the Suzuki Gun guys were going to do some more stuff to Red Shoes Dose, and Taguchi went in for the save.
Oh, yeah.
Then we had Tokyo Pimp Yujiro Takahashi versus Hikuleo, which is Leo Tonga.
Yeah, apparently that is the name that is he also a son of Haku?
He is a son of Haku.
Okay, so Haku gave him the name Hikuleo, and then they tried to call him Leo Tonga, and he's like, nah, my dad says this is my name. And they're like, right, we're not going to argue.
We respect the wishes of King Haku.
Correct. We don't want him to beat the shit out of us.
And they were taking on the of course, primary tag team of Chaos, Tomohiro Ishii and Toru Yano.
Toru Yano, best wrestler NA.
They gave the Pimp and Hikuleo most of the action, I'd say. I'd say maybe 2/3 of the action was theirs. But
yeah, there was a lot less Ishii in there.
Indeed, it was a lot more Yano.
Very much so. And then, traditional finish of the Ishii Yano duumvirate, with Yano getting an uppercut to the ding-ding and Ishii doing bad things to people, and then winning.
Yep. And Hikuleo ate the pin. Yeah. Which I was a little surprised by. I thought the Pimp would.
Nah, you gotta make the rookie eat the pin.
Then we had G.O.D., Fale, and Chase Owens, the honorary Tongan, the real Tongan.
Sure, he's a real Tongan?
I know, it's freaking hilarious. You can get the honorary Tongan t-shirt online. I don't know the URL off the top of my head right now. Honorary Tongan, so like you, Chase? No, I am a real Tongan. Against Team Badass, we had Oka, Makabe, Nakanishi, and Tenzan.
Hey.
I think Hinari was supposed to be in this match, but he got promoted to the next one to replace Tanahashi.
Yeah. Like I previously said, they made an announcement.
I assume was what opened up the spot for Oka.
Yes, very much so. They did make an announcement at the beginning of this card saying that, the that dude's fucked up. He's not going to be here, and this is what's up, and there you go. Bye.
I just didn't catch if they actually referenced this match as where Hinari was booked. They just they said Hinari was replacing him.
Yeah, I think that's probably what happened.
But yeah, it's what makes sense here. Anyways, because Makabe and Hinari have been kind of like tag team basically. He's been almost the surrogate Hamna for Great Bash Heels. In the end,
there was a really great Hanma tribute in the match as well. We had at least one Kokeshi.
Yeah, Tenzan gave us a Kokeshi. Owens gets the pin with the package pile driver on Oka and is demanding a 5 count.
Yeah, he got the 3 count and he stayed there and he looked at the ref and he's like, no, what are you doing? I told you to count to 5. They're promoting him as master of the 5 count, even though he can't get a 5. The ref will not count to 5 for him.
Which is hilarious. This whole thing actually came about because he had to get a 5 count in the New Japan Rumble at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
So they're just running with it. It's pretty good. Something WWE would totally not do because it was not scripted. Therefore, we must ignore it.
It's got to bury it. Yeah. Chase Owens is becoming the comedy guy of the Bullet Club.
I would say there's no becoming, more so. He is.
Well, I mean, really, the comedy guy of Bullet Club was always Kenny Omega because he's so fucking good at it. But he can't do that all the time. So Chase Owens being the literal redheaded stepchild of Bullet Club is kind of the designated comedy guy now.
True. Then we move on to the aforementioned match. This is where Tanahashi was supposed to be Big Mike Elgin and Toa Hinare versus Minoru Suzuki and Iizuka.
Or as I like to call him, Large Michael.
This is where Iizuka did the Pearl Harbor on the Japanese schoolgirls.
Yeah, so he's coming down through the crowd. I can't tell if he lost his balance or if he legitimately...
I think he lost his balance.
Yeah, so there's 4 schoolgirls sitting together, and he just kind of like, blah, like right between the middle two. And yeah, it was really funny. I enjoyed it.
I've always enjoyed that it seems like it matters who's holding Izuka's lead. Like when it's Taka, he goes on like a prolonged rampage wandering around, whereas Desperado seems and Kanemaru seem to actually be able to keep him on target.
Because Taka doesn't care.
Confirmed, Kanemaru and Desperado less sociopathic than Taka.
Very much so. Well, I mean, I'm assuming that Taka's just really drunk all the time.
I'm assuming Kanemaru is pretty drunk too, though.
Correct.
Anyways, we had a bunch of course, the seconds at ringside. We had Kanemaru, we had Taichi, we had Taka, we had Desperado. Desperado getting to be the flag bearer, as always. So we get a prolonged outside assault on the face tag team with numbers advantage. Henare, I've noted here, Henare must be really tasty because the Suzuki Gun guys keep biting him. And I don't mean just Izuka.
There's so much. That's one thing we forgot to talk about. There's so much biting. Like, is biting the new spitting?
Might be.
This is like the day 1 and day 2. So much biting. Everybody, even the faces. I can think of 2 spots. I think Elgin had a bite spot. Did he have the bite spot in this?
It was in this match. He bit Izuka.
Then I want to say it was Makabe in day 1 had a bite spot. Well, they both like bit somebody's thumb. I don't remember what it was, but they're like everybody was biting. There's like I think Izuka bit like 6 times in this match.
Yeah,
it was so much biting.
So much biting.
I don't understand.
Anyways, heel hook victory for Minoru Suzuki on Henare, which plays into the whole blown out Achilles tentative Henare. So that's good storytelling. And Izuka's dragging Elgin away so that they can have some intimate time alone, Mr. Henare, with the former young boy.
Wanna make love to your woman.
But with his good friend the Chain, here comes Makabe for the save.
Yeah, Makabe came out, like, instead of wearing it around his neck, he had the whole fucking thing wrapped around one fist and was ready to smash some fools.
And Suzuki got the hell out of Dodge, but Suzuki did take a little bit of retribution on some of the young boys on the way out.
Yeah.
Then we had the villain, the Hangman, and the Cody versus Kota Ibushi, Kushida, and Finlay.
Finally?
Yeah. I know I spelled it correctly this time. It is Finlay this time.
It's your boy DeVito, finally.
Like we said, Paige gets the pin here again. He pinned Kushida with the rite of passage after a crossroads, which, I mean, that's a solid finish, but surprising.
Well, I don't know if you want to have Finlay. They seem to really like Finlay. I don't know if you want to bury Finlay twice in 2 days. And if you're not going to have, say, Hangman eat the pin, you certainly don't want to have Ibushi eat the pin, because that plays into foreshadowing something later. So I can see why Kushida would eat the pin. It's not like it's going to hurt him at all. And if Finlay eats 2 in 2 days, that's not good.
I suppose I see your point. This was a pretty good match. I liked the flow of it. Not really a lot of spots to talk about, but just, 6 dudes who really work well together. And despite my prior reservations about Hangman Page being shit, he has proven me wrong. Well, not necessarily proven me wrong, because I still believe he was shit when I was calling him shit, but he's gotten better.
Yeah. One thing we need, the flipping element in the room, is that Hangman risen so much love with the standing shooting star press right now.
Yes.
The standing moonsault.
And he gets good height on it, but he needs more freaking horizontal movement.
He he goes straight up in the air and does his flip and comes straight back down. He does not move forward, so he needs to stand directly next to his opponent to do this. And he's not doing that, and it's kind of scary sometimes.
Finlay ate one here where, like, Finlay's... I swear Finlay had to tell Cody, like, push me forward.
Yeah, there was one where they went shoulder to shoulder. It was pretty good. I would like, you know what, if he's not able to perfect that technique, turn it into an elbow drop. You've got a new exciting way. Dude, that would be the best elbow drop. No one even does that. I can't think of a single person who does a standing
shooting star elbow drop.
Yeah, I can't think of a single person who does that, and it should be. At this point, I have no reason why that should not be done. So, Hangman, keep on working, buddy.
Then we had
kind of scary.
Then we had the entirety of LIJ taking on Okada, Ospreay, Goto, Gato, and Yoshihashi.
Yoshi hash browns, baby.
And we continue with the Yoshihashi going after Naito like a man fucking possessed.
Before and after the match. He also did that after the match in the previous night. And did everything he could to get Naito to just face him and nothing.
And Naito's pulling basically what he did to Jericho, where he's like, nah, just turn my back to you.
Yeah, exactly. I've heard that at the LA show, they're going to have the culmination of the Jericho Naito. Jericho's going to come back for another match.
Which you got to.
Tantalizes all of and I think it's happening on my birthday.
Oh. This match had a bit of a weird finish in the sense that, so you got Gato getting double teamed by Sonata and Bushi, and Ospreay plus Goto make the save. Only for Gato to tap out directly afterwards to Sonata's skull end. So that was a bit weird.
Yeah, but I mean, you were predicting Gato would eat the pin on.
Well, I mean, Gato is the guy to eat the pin here. I mean,
yeah.
You can't have really. You had Bushi eat the pin on night one, and he's really your only LIJ guy you can pin because you got to keep Naito strong. You got Evil and Sonata both getting title shots at Osaka.
You could have Takahashi eat the loss if you're going to go that way because you're in there against Goto and Okada and Ospreay. I mean,
yeah, but you got 3 number 1 contenders on that LIJ team.
Yeah, that's true.
Hiromu's challenging Ospreay, Evil's challenging Goto, and Sonata's challenging Okada.
Yeah, and they really don't they don't book their number 1 contenders to be either idiots or losers. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, so you kind of... Not that the only one who could have eaten a pin would be Naito, and I don't think you do that in a mix, a throwing tag match.
Yeah, not unless you're gonna have everybody.
Unless we get back to our earlier question about pinning Finlay twice in 2 days, you have to do the same thing to Bushi.
Yeah, exactly, which you don't want to do. It's not that Bushi could get away with it. It's not that big a deal. But then he would stuff like that when you do.
And you got Gato in there, who's a pin eating machine.
Yeah, true. But I mean, Bushi's usually the guy you point to eat the loss. And if you get that reputation and you've got that kind of for lack of a better term, moniker as the guy that's going to eat the pin for your team, then it's kind of like Gato. I mean, but Gato's, I don't want to say semi-retired, but he is pretty much semi-retired.
Semi-retired, he's the booker.
Exactly. So, I mean, Gato's the guy you kind of always put, but you can also use those guys as red herrings, where it's like, oh, obviously Gato's going to eat the pin. Well, night one, he fucking didn't, so switcheroony. But yeah, you don't want to, the guy who's supposed to eat the pin shouldn't eat the pin all the time, which, surprise, surprise, New Japan does really well. So
I'd say Gato's maybe the only one I'd put an exception. He does eat the pin a little bit more than one would expect.
That's true. But I mean, if I was a booker, I would book myself to, if I was in that particular position.
It's smart because he's not full-time talent, like we said.
Yeah. The only other way you go about it is you have somebody who they're not connected. Like if you had Ospreay pin Sonata, or vice versa.
I don't think you could have pinned. I don't think you could have pinned any of the number one contenders.
Well, what if you had Yoshihashi pin Tanahashi or Evil? Like it doesn't. Yoshihashi and Evil have really no connection.
I know, but they're still number one contenders. I wouldn't have them be a pin. What I could have seen was like Okada pinning Naito. That could work. Or Yoshihashi pinning Naito as a way to create more interest in that match, because I don't think anyone's really hyped about Hashi Naito.
No, I mean, with all of his anger and all of his heel tactics, he still doesn't have any facial expression. What the fuck? He's so angry that his feet are going faster or something. I can't tell because looking at his face, nothing changes. It's
true. The facials are not great. It's a bit weird. Then we had title match number 2. Actually, number 3. I forgot about the never open weight 6-man.
Well, that was night 1.
Junior heavyweights, champions Young Bucks defending against Roppongi 3K.
3K.
We wind up with basically a handicap matchup for a lot of this because Matt Jackson got his back fucked up.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was I'm pretty sure a lot of that was kayfabe.
I think that they kayfabed it up, but like the bruising on his back indicates he was fucked up.
Yeah, there's a big,
whether that was the story they intended to tell and it just happened he did fuck himself up.
Yeah. That would not surprise me. Like, this is what we're going to do for the match. Cool. When we do this spot, I'm going to go a little ham sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this was a quite good match.
Yo was the freaking MVP of this match. He took... Well, Nick Jackson was because he had to work a lot of the match, but...
That orange match.
Yo took a lot of beating. Holy... He ate two of the scent, like the hold him up on the or hold him up on the apron and hit him with a senton twice.
More bang for your buck.
Yeah, more bang for your buck. Ate that twice. Kept going. Kicked out.
Yeah.
Survived a really long sharpshooter.
Can I just say that I think Nick Jackson uses this fake spray tan as a heel gimmick?
It's possible.
Like, dude, that guy's orange as shit.
Orange as all hell.
And I swear he uses it as a heel tactic. It might play into the whole Trump thing, but it also, he's been doing it for a while, and I think that he just kind of, like, fuck, like, people don't like douchebags that use fake spray tan. Well, I'm going to start using it.
I also like the sharpshooter spot where Matt has Yo in the sharpshooter, but his back's all messed up, so he's like, okay, it's hurting me as much as it's hurting him.
Yeah, it's eventually you just had to stop doing it. It was quite good. I enjoyed it.
And Yo kind of got the win with a roll-up, but kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, they did that a couple of times where it was just like, oh, God, oh, okay. Well, well done, I guess.
And then we headed into another title match with Kenny Omega defending against Switchblade Jay White. And this match had kind of 3 phases. Phase number 1, Jay White gets over by beating up Omega for a bit, including power slamming him on the concrete floor after he ripped up the mats. By the way, Matt Jackson not in Kenny's corner because he's selling the back injury. And then Omega starts to fuck up Jay White and almost gets the win by count out with a 19 count.
Yeah.
And to the point where, like, Omega's going for a Snapdragon and White defends it by collapsing to the ground.
Playing back into, was it Omega Okada 2?
Mm-hmm. There was a V-trigger to the fucking spine. Jesus,
there was so many V-triggers that... Well, there wasn't so many V-triggers, but there were... The V-triggers he delivered were fucking brutal.
I have it in my notes here. Jay White can't even stand, and this is actually working in his favor at points.
Yeah.
Omega tied him up in the ropes, hit the V-trigger, and then hit a Tiger Bomb. White kicked out of that somehow. And then we get to phase 3 where White, I think, lost his mind and starts laughing in delirium.
Yeah, that was pretty entertaining stuff. He had just taken... It played really well because he had taken so much punishment that you just kind of either go into another realm of existence or die.
And he chose option A.
Exactly. Sure. It was well executed, well done. The match overall for me wasn't that great. It was very good, I'll give it that, but it still kind of lacks... There's something that, I don't know, just Jay White doesn't quite have yet. He may in the future.
He's 26, he's got time.
Oh yeah, he's totally got time. But it's, after watching Kenny Omega against all of the other people, even Juice Robinson. You remember his match against Juice Robinson?
That was pretty damn good.
His match against Trent Beretta last year?
Mm-hmm.
This was not as good as those.
Beretta, mind you, is a veteran of the game, and White's new. Robinson's a fair comparison. He's been around a little bit longer, but not too much longer than Jay White.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're just... Those matches were better than this. And I don't know. There's just something that doesn't quite get there, and I don't know what it was. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know how you could work the match better. They've obviously worked it to the best of my ability to understand, but I just can't put my finger on what was missing.
We'll see if it comes. I enjoyed the convulsion pin escape from Jay White, where it didn't even seem like he kicked out. He just kind of convulsed.
Yeah.
And Callis at that point lost his shit, claiming it was a 3 count.
Yeah, Callis was going over the top, and it was great.
Then we got a series of backdrop drivers as White was making his comeback. It was really weak at first. And my notes are like, Byron is not interested. He is slightly more enthusiastic. Actually, normal enthusiasm for a backdrop driver at this point.
I tried to do that on purpose. It was like,
and
it was the laziest. Like, he almost fell over holding the guy. He was like, oh, backdrop driver.
And
then he was a little bit more, oh, backdrop driver. And a little bit, oh, backdrop driver. And a little bit, oh, backdrop driver. That's an official backdrop driver right there.
And snap sleeper suplex. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool.
And a Kiwi Crusher for 2. Then he hit a Blade Runner out of nowhere, only gets a 2. And then finally he wins it with the Blade Runner reversing a One-Winged Angel.
Yeah.
And we have a new champion.
Yeah, it was, the match, I don't want to, beat a dead horse, but it just didn't quite have, for me, what it should have had, especially if you're going to take Kenny Omega's title. So that's kind of all I have to say.
I kind of agree. I don't really think you put the belt on Jay White at this point. I thought Juice Robinson would be a better candidate, or Mike Elgin, a number of other candidates who could, bring a little more prestige, because the U.S. title is very new. Its prestige is not really locked into the belt as much as it was to Omega.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is a great move, but we did get a payoff here because Hangman Page saunters down to the ring and grabs the belt and looks like he's going to challenge Jay White. And Omega steals it back, gives it to White, and basically, White, get out of here, whatever. And then Cody comes out to accuse Omega of stealing Page's moment. And then Marty Scurll and the Bucks come out to play Peacemaker. Matt Jackson wasn't out there for a bit, still selling the back. Good work. Omega ends up shoving Matt down by accident, or didn't think it was Matt or something. And he apologized to the Bucks, but the Bucks are like, "Fuck this, we're out of here. Sort it out. Sort your shit out." In the words of Morty, get your shit together.
Get it all together. Put it in a backpack.
And then, so Skrull and Page then leave to let the two alphas sort it out. They don't get too far away. It looks like Cody's gonna, it looks like it's all good. Omega turns to leave and gets Crossroads. And Marty Scurll is stunned and like, what are you doing? What is this? And Hangman Page is originally looks like he's stunned, but then he just ends up holding Omega for Cody to hit him with a chair. Just kind of following orders, I guess. Also, there was a line here where Cody said Page is his best friend. That kind of came at a little bit of nowhere.
Yeah, that was a bit odd.
And then Ibushi comes in with the save. And they tease a handshake. And eventually we get the Golden Lovers hug.
Indeed, yeah. It was really a lot of fun to hear the crowd suddenly... It was like a wave. Somebody right near the entrance saw Ibushi coming out, and you could hear the crowd in, almost like dominoes falling. Whoa, here he comes! And Ibushi hits the ring and the whole shenanigans. And that was a particularly good payoff. I enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to get some sort of Bullet Club Civil War, I'd imagine, at least with the Elite probably breaking off.
I would say so. If you haven't watched Being the Elite, I did watch the episode after that.
I did as well.
Basically breaks down to the fact that after much further after they had a discussion, nothing's really resolved. Everything, Cody puts out the tweet said everything's fine in Bullet Club, and then there's a bunch of behind the scenes stuff. Apparently, Matt said inferred that Kenny Omega is not as good a leader as either AJ Styles or Fergal Devitt. I still can't believe Fergal's a real name. That's fucking funny. Anyway, that doesn't go over well, and then the match happens as far as timeline's concerned. And then after that, they have a kind of a group dinner without Kenny, and nobody's really enthusiastic. I don't remember any details from that.
Just kind of eating in silence.
Yeah. And then afterwards, Kenny goes to the Young Bucks hotel room, knocks on the door. They open the door. Kota Ibushi steps in as well, and then they welcome both of those guys into their hotel room. So I have to assume that the Elite are going to be a thing. Hopefully with Kota Ibushi in tow to give him a bit of, like, a big fucking, not like he needs it, but a big ass rub. So maybe we'll have Bullet Club Wolfpack, and that would be great.
Bullet Club Red.
Indeed. I don't know. It's kind of futile to speculate. You assume that his best friend will, the Tongans and Hangman Page and Chase Owens will probably stay with Bullet Club proper.
Well, Chase Owens is a Tongan, so.
Exactly.
You kind of got the OG group, plus the people they seem to like. So Fale and the Grills of Destiny, and then I would assume Tokyo Pimp, Chase Owens, and Hikuleo will be part of that group.
Yeah.
And yeah, they'll
Marty
probably Marty Scurll's in the air. I think Hangman Page is more in the air than you would think, because he is part of the ROH 6-man champs with the Bucks.
Well, I mean, but that's ROH. Maybe they don't. I don't know. It depends on how storyline or how much continuity they want to have. That's the part that's up in the air. Like how much of this is straight up New Japan, how much of this is like Bullet Club across the board. I don't know. Like this is gonna be where we find out what that means, I guess.
I suppose you could also go 3-way war. You didn't like that idea. I kind of do. You get the OG Bullet Club, the new G Bullet Club, which would be Cody, and I'd put Skrull and Hangman with him, and then the Elite.
Yeah, I would not have a problem with that.
Yeah, I think that would work. And yeah, so that was New Beginnings Sapporo, and yeah. It did what it was supposed to do, even if it's not the card I would introduce someone to New Japan with.
No, I would say, well, fucking Wrestle Kingdom. Fucking go watch Wrestle Kingdom.
Well, a Wrestle Kingdom or maybe a G1 Climax type deal or something like that.
Yeah, go watch the last 2 days of the 28th G1 Climax. It'll be quite the business.
But yeah, we had some really good matches. I really enjoyed Suzuki versus Tanahashi and the story it told. I enjoyed Jay White and Omega more than you did, although by the standards of an Omega match, it's probably like 3.5 stars, so that's below his standard.
And maybe you can throw this in my face about me and just being biased, but I don't chalk that up to Omega. That match was Jay White's time to step way the fuck up, and he just kind of didn't. He's still very much in a shell of a character that isn't even formed yet. So it's just not, he has no freedom yet within the character. And I think it was the wrong time to put a fucking belt on him. But maybe that's just me. And again, as far as the match is concerned, that was, it takes two to tango, and Kenny did everything he could to set that kid up as being so good, and it just wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, I agree with some of that. I agree it's probably not necessarily that it's too early for him to have a belt. Like I could see putting like a never openweight title on him or something. But
yeah.
But I think the U.S. title's a little too in its infancy to have someone like that take the belt. Like I said, if you're going to take it off of Kenny at this point, I would have used someone like a Mike Elgin, or if it had to be someone from like one of the big factions to kind of lead to this schism with Bullet Club. I mean, Kota Ibushi would have also been a perfect option. But
yeah.
I mean, you could have gone with... There's really no one in Chaos that I would have put the belt on. They kind of have all the gold right now.
I mean, unless you want to start stacking gold on Ospreay.
Yeah, I mean, Ospreay would have been an option, or even Goto.
Zack Sabre Jr.
Oh, Tomohiro Ishii!
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, the match they had last year in LA, holy shit.
That could work. That would have worked.
That would have worked very well.
Or even if you want to go heel, Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
So, yeah. that's Sapporo New Beginnings. We'll be back at you this weekend with our WWE thoughts. I haven't watched any of it yet, so I can't even spoil you what my thoughts are. I'm not hearing great things.
The one thing I have heard is that there may or may not be some worked shoot heat on Rousey, because a number of the ladies have been like, "Well, who's this bitch stepping on our fucking moment at the Rumble?"
That makes sense.
So I don't know if I can't tell if it's a work. I can't tell if it's a shoot. I can't tell if it's a worked shoot. I can't tell.
I would say it's a work, but there are probably some very real feelings at play.
Yeah, I would say so.
Because I imagine those girls are not very happy about, like, okay, she came in and basically overshadowed our entire moment.
Yeah, who's the new bitch?
Yeah. So until next time, get up Byron's lawn.
Indeed.